I love this idea of the hackathon because we often think of hackathons, and we certainly think of it in the context of software development
Mm-hmm.
as a way for people to experiment. And in this combination of people, technology, and process, the hackathon is a process piece that empowers people. It's about
Mm-hmm.
creating a process that's short, it's defined, it's low risk. There's no career impact if it doesn't work. It's like, just give it a whirl and see what happens.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think
Now,
that's
I had the good fortune to be on sort of the panel that judged a recent hackathon, and I was so impressed with what folks came back with. It seemed to be a pretty straightforward problem statement, and they thought about it 100 different ways, and it was really, really fun.
yeah, I love that, and yeah, that is really innovation
Mhm.
with data. You'd mentioned just a second ago this idea that people are, and we're clearly at home, and everyone's working from home. Uh, I think everybody finds themselves in a new working reality with COVID-19. But I'm curious how that's affected the data side of the organization. You're part of the company. Uh, you know, uh, we don't actually bring people their data on a platter. Like we serve it to them digitally. So on that basis, it probably doesn't change very much. But I got to think that the the idea of data has become more important, and but maybe also different. So maybe share how the current COVID-19 reality has changed the way you think about your role, the role of the CDO, and how you're working.
Yeah. I'd say I'll start with how we're working. It's really not that hugely different. So my team was already in multiple cities. It's not like all of us were sitting in one building together, being able to walk up and down the hallway. What I think it has done for us, it's proven that we actually can do our work from anywhere. And still be effective. So that's been great. I mean, I think, every now and then I would like to go into the office and actually lay eyes on my team other than via a
In
screen.
three dimensions.
Yep. But so I think, how we're working, we're pretty nimble, we're pretty flexible, and I've been very proud of my team and how we've adjusted this, as well as all the folks we work with around the firm. But what has COVID-19 actually presented to us from an opportunity perspective is there's been new requests for new data, new third-party data sets to bring in to help us run our own business, to provide services and insights to our clients. So my team that actually, the third-party content team, they have been really, really busy working with folks across the firm to identify new data sets. And if it's something we didn't already have, get the contracts in place as quickly as we can and get it in the front door so it can start adding value. So that's been really interesting, just, a whole new set of different types of data to think about, and how we can actually use them. The other thing that, we've been working on is again, there's been a lot of questions that have been coming from senior management in a very unique time to lead a company, right? So again, how quickly can we get them insight and answer their questions? And so there's a part of my team that manages a lot of the data we use to run KPMG. They've been awfully busy over the past several months, helping to drive insights for our senior leadership. As they're, just like every other, senior leadership team across the world right now is, how do you manage in this type of environment? So that's been really interesting to see the types of questions that have been coming in, but also to see how we're well positioned to answer some, because we already had all the data curated for us. And so it was a matter of just, creating a new visualization, or in some cases, we've actually had to bring in new data and marry that up with existing data sets, and how can we keep getting faster at that, so we can get that speed to market, speed to insight for our senior leadership.
Got it. So we have only a few minutes left, and I'm going to ask you a completely unfair question.
Okay.
But in the way the time constraint will help force crisp thinking, which is predictions for the future. You talked a lot about cloud, about data as an asset, and using new data, organizational strategies around people, process, and technology. Maybe one or two predictions for the future of data at KPMG, and the future of data for the industry. What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so I think one of the things we really have to think long and hard about is, and I call it the ethics of data. So with all this data everywhere, and especially in this COVID-19 world right now, where we're all trying to think about, well, what's return to work look like? What does contact tracing look like? And all this data that could tell us all these things is how do you think about the ethics of data, and how far do you actually take using data? And there's no sort of governor of that right now, right? And I know there's people thinking about it out there, but I think that is something that has got to be in our future. Privacy laws are only going to take us so far on that. And the way I used to think about it, and I continue to think about it, two seemingly innocent data sets side by side are fine, but when you put them together, does it create an unintended outcome?
Right.
So how do we get our arms around the ethics of data and data use? I think it's already showing itself, and I think that's going to continue to show itself.
I think that's a fantastic prediction, and frankly, probably worthy of an entire video series in itself. There's some significant challenges there, and
right.
and leadership from chief data officers such as yourself are going to really provide a framework for thinking about that.
Yeah. So I think that's a tough one, and I say just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. Thank you very much for your time, Jodi. This was a pleasure, and congratulations once again. And if you found this conversation interesting and you're looking for additional, go visit cdomagazine.tech for a whole series of additional interviews.